Oh, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Just Fan TV, man. Back after the video, the content, the video, go smash that like button, the content of this channel. Go subscribe, man. Look, so Ravens training camp day 15, man. We'll get to the injuries, a little bit of the news we're having out there on the field, and I'll talk about the injuries as well, right? So we'll start with some injuries, get the news, and then I'll probably double back, honestly. So people who weren't out there today: Rashad Bateman, Arthur Millette, Trayvon Mullen, Quincy Roche, Tyler DeBomb, Keaton Mitchell, TJ Tampa, right? We'll talk about more into injuries in a second, but I want to talk about also what happened out there on the field today. So let's get into that. Odafe Oweh came back today in practice after having a sprained ankle. He came out there, but one of the main stories of the day was that Lamar Jackson was very, very sharp today in practice. The Ravens seemed like they worked on a lot of 7-on-7 red zone drills. And in the 7-on-7 red zone drill, there was a portion of that where Lamar Jackson threw 4 straight touchdown passes in the red zone. So very, very sharp. We know that for his team as good as Ravens have been, that their red zone offense can always get better. So it's good that they're working on that, and that Lamar just had a really good day in that. So 2 other players that stood out, catching these kind of passes from Lamar Jackson, that would be Charlie Kohler and that would be Tyler Wallace. Man, Tyler Wallace is a guy that we are constantly bringing up on here. He's really making a play for himself to get playing time on the field, right? So I know the Ravens had just signed Russell Gage, and that kind of, I think, is his main competition as far as getting on the field. But Tyler Wallace keeps having days like this. I mean, he already has the head start on the guy like Russell Gage because he's been here, he knows the offense, right? So Tyler Wallace keeps stacking days. He really might see playing time this season. So I love the fact of how he's playing, how he continues to grow as a player, right? And speaking of player growth, another guy is Sean Ryan, right? So second year undrafted wide receiver, right? Had a really good training camp last season, right? It was just a numbers game, didn't make the team. They kept him around practice squad. Now this training camp, he's doing the same thing again, right? He's making a lot of plays. Apparently there was even a Sean Ryan cheer out there at Ravens training camp. Okay, so Ravens fans are noticing what he's doing. Now it's up to him when we get to these preseason games, right? He has his first chance versus Philadelphia this Friday to really show and prove that he deserves to be on this team, right? Because I mean, as an undrafted guy, obviously it's very tough to make the roster. And now it is his second year or whatever, so he's more comfortable with his team than last year. But still, he's a guy that when you talk about under the radar Ravens, his name constantly pops up, right? You gotta watch out for these kind of guys whose name keep popping up, who is not a household name to a lot of Ravens fans, right? So that Sean Ryan would definitely fit into that mix. So I believe he wears number 82. So watch out for number 82 this Friday versus the Eagles if y'all plan on watching the game. He may make some plays out there. Okay, so and then Pepe Williams, RedZone interception today. So that's good for Pepe. Get out there. With Arthur Millette going down, a guy like Pepe could step in. Now the Ravens have a lot of depth at slot corner, but still Pepe is making plays. More opportunities are out there for him. We'll see what he does with it, right? Now some stuff that I guess is like off the field, right? So Lamar Jackson will not play in the preseason opener versus the Eagles. Hell, Lamar Jackson might not play the entire preseason, right? I don't believe he played last year. After what happened to J.K. Dobbins, them years ago in the preseason, Harbaugh he's tensed up about playing his guys in the preseason, right? Sorry if y'all can hear that rain in the background, but Harbaugh's kind of tensed up about playing his guys in the preseason, especially a lot of his key veteran starters, and Lamar Jackson obviously fits into that mix, right? So he won't play it Friday. I would be surprised if we saw him at all this preseason. He's the second year in the offense. He knows what he's doing. He's comfortable with it. The Ravens are going to have a joint practice with the Green Bay Packers, right, before their last preseason game. So that joint practice is going to be Lamar Jackson's reps against another team, right? That's going to be his preseason game, right? So I don't think we're going to see him in live action preseason. I don't think we're going to see that. Okay. All right. Also, Ben Cleveland is getting a lot of look at center right now because Tyler DeBomb is still out hurt. He said he's comfortable with taking the reps there. Now, this is kind of a two-pronged thing for me, right? One, Ben Cleveland's development has been very, very weird for the Ravens. He's played pretty much, not everywhere, because he hasn't played either tackle spot, but he's played left guard, right guard, and now center. And hasn't really made it stick at either position. So is he another utility man? Is he a guy that's going to really fight for a starting job, left guard, right guard? It's just kind of a situation with Ben Cleveland, right? So I don't really know what's going to happen with him there, but for right now, he is acting as one of the Ravens centers just because of what's going on with Linderbaum, right? And the second part of what I was talking about is the fact that I know we're focused on Rashad Bateman's injury, right? And that's something that we should be focused on, whatever. I think he'll be okay if it truly is he just landing on the ball, whatever. Got something to do with his ribs, who knows, right? But with Linderbaum, he's been out almost a week straight at this point, right? To me, that's the more concerning injury right now, right? Tyler Linderbaum is by far the Ravens' best offensive lineman, their most consistent offensive lineman, all of that. And he's the guy, he's Lamar Jackson's partner up front, right? We know that center quarterback relationship is very, very important. We've seen snaps over Lamar Jackson's head in years past, right? We don't want to go back to seeing that again. So I really would like to know more information on what's going on with Linderbaum. All they say right now is a soft tissue injury. That can be hamstring, whatever. It can be anything. We really don't know. So to me, that's the most concerning injury right now that the Ravens have. And I would love to hear more about that. But right now, we don't know too much, right? And then Arthur Millette, I put it in the community post on the YouTube page as well that Arthur Millette is going to miss regular season games this year. He's getting a knee scope right now, or in the very near future, right? He's going to get a knee scope. He's going to keep him out at least the whole of September, and then the Ravens will probably reevaluate and see what happens after that, right? That's what the indications are right now. Somebody brought it up to me that maybe the Ravens will put Arthur Millette on IR, which is very much a possibility, right? They expect him to miss that first 6 weeks of the season. Very much a possibility. Very, very unfortunate because he was having a great training camp, right? Not just a great training camp, great offseason in general, right? He signs a contract, he balls out in mini camps, OTAs, and then he does the same thing in training camp, right? First 3 days of training camp, Arthur Millette had an interception all 3 days, right? So he does that. Now, if I will say this, right, you don't want to see anybody get hurt, but if there was a position where the Ravens could afford to have an injury, it is slot cornerback. Like I just mentioned, the Ravens, have an abundance of guys that can play a position. I just talked about Pepe Williams, or Darius Washington, Marlon Humphrey, and the list goes on, right? You have guys who can feel comfortable coming down and playing the slot position, right? Even if you wanted to throw, Eddie Jackson down there, he hasn't done that really a lot, but the Ravens have versatility among their safeties and their corners between who can play in the slot, right? So that injury is a blow to the Ravens, but it is something that they can sustain as right now, right? So, but that should really pretty much your Ravens training camp news update for today, right? So Lamar Jackson very, very sharp today throwing the football, especially in the red zone drills. 4 straight touchdowns in the red zone for Lamar Jackson, okay? Charlie Kohler, and then Tylan Wallace continues to make a name for himself, right? If you're going to watch the pieces of the game, watch out for Sean Ryan. He's a guy that can maybe pop off the screen second year UDFA wide receiver. And, the Ravens are dealing with some injuries right now, to some guys that were going to get significant playing time. Your Batemans, your Millettes, and Tyler Linderbaum, to me, which is the most important one at the moment. Because without Tyler Linderbaum, the Ravens' offensive line and how I feel about them drops drastically if Tyler Linderbaum has a somewhat serious injury, right? So that's what we're looking out for. Hopefully we get more information on that. But we're going to end the video here, man. But it's Gary Rhodes on TV. I'm out.